Every morning, before the sun was fully up, a 9 years old already on the streets of Gangnam. No school bag. No lunchbox. Just a tray of teak, rice cakes, balanced on her small arms. Morning to night. Selling. So she could eat. Her father? Dead. Her mother? In a hospital bed. Paralyzed. Unable to move a finger to help her. Her stepmother? The one who put that tray in her head and told her, "Don't come back until it's empty." Her name was Thamora. And nobody, not one person on those streets, knew what she was carrying inside. It was a Tuesday afternoon. She'd stepped into a narrow side alley to rest her feet, just for a moment. That's when she heard them. 3 men. Standing close. Speaking low. In a Gyeongsang dialect that the rough southern tongue most outsiders would never catch. She froze. Because she caught every word. "The briefcase is in the back seat. We move when he steps out. Don't leave witnesses." Amora didn't flinch. She didn't run. She slowly, carefully, turned her head. Parked on the street, maybe 30 meters away, a black car. Tinted windows. Engine off. The men's eyes were locked on it. She shifted, pressed through a gap in the wall, and through the car's side mirror, she saw it. A briefcase. Sitting on the back seat like it was waiting to be taken. She looked at the men. She looked at the car. She looked at her tray of steak. And then, she walked to that car. Sat down on the ground, back against the rear tire. Put her tray in her lap. And waited. 20 minutes. 40 minutes. Almost an hour. She sold 2 rice cakes to a passing woman. She didn't move. The men watched her, confused. She was just a child selling snacks. Nothing to worry about. They kept waiting. So did she. He came from a building across the road. Tall. Heavy coat. Hands covered in ink, tattoos running from his knuckles to his neck. The kind of man people moved out of the way for on the street. The kind of man you didn't look in the eye. He saw her first, a little girl, sitting against his tire, looking up at him without fear. He stopped. In Korean, he said, "What are you doing there, kid?" She didn't answer in Korean. She answered in Jeju dialect, the old island tongue, rough and rare, the one even most Koreans couldn't understand. "There are men watching your car. They want what's in your back seat. Don't look at them now." He went completely still. Slowly, he crouched down, to her level, eyes steady, voice quiet. "How many?" 3. "Behind me. Left side." He didn't turn. He didn't panic. He just looked at this 9-year-old child, sat calmly against his car, tray of rice cakes in her lap, and something shifted in his face. Without a word, he opened the back door. "Get in." She picked up her tray. Got in the car. And he drove. She had never seen a house like this. High ceilings. Warm light. Silence that didn't feel like poverty. He sat across from her at a long table. A glass of juice appeared, someone brought it without being asked. He looked at her for a long moment. Then, "How does a child your age speak Jeju dialect?" And she told him. Her grandfather, a Kenyan man, had married her grandmother in America. They built a life there. A small one, but it was theirs. Until the night men broke into their building. Took everything. And put a bullet in her grandfather, while her grandmother stood there, 7 months pregnant, screaming. They left the grandmother alive. Maybe because of the pregnancy. Maybe luck. She buried her husband alone. Then she ran all the way to Korea, to her own mother, to give birth somewhere safe. Her mother was born in Korea. But the grandmother died that same year. So her mother grew up moving, city to city, job to job, laborer, cleaner, market seller. Picking up languages the way others picked up coins. Jeongsang. Jeju. Chungching. She taught them to her daughter the way other mothers teach lullabies. Languages are the one thing no one can take from you, her mother had said. Amora's father had been a contractor. He met her mother at a work site. She was carrying concrete, he was supervising. He married her. Brought her to Seoul. Gave her a home. Then he died on a road in the rain. Beside his Korean wife, who also lay in a hospital bed, and left his black wife paralyzed, and his daughter on the street with a tray of rice cakes. The man with tattoos sat very still. He asked one question, "Where is your mother now?" He took her to the hospital that same evening. Amora walked in first. Her mother lay in the bed, thinner than she remembered. Eyes open. Watching the ceiling. When she saw her daughter, and then the man standing behind her. She couldn't speak. He spoke to the doctors alone. Amora waited outside, still holding her tray. He came back. Looked at her. Said simply, "It's handled." He paid every bill. Every surgery. Every therapy session. He told the doctors, "Make sure she walks again. Don't give me a number. Just make it happen." Amora went home that night. Her stepmother didn't ask where she'd been. She just counted the day's earnings and sent her to bed. Amora said nothing. She kept selling. Every day. Said nothing. Weeks passed. Then one afternoon, a black car pulled up in front of the building. Amora stepped out first. And then, her mother stepped out behind her. Walking. Slowly. With a cane. But walking. The stepmother stood in the doorway. Mouth open. No words. The neighbors who had watched this little girl sell on the streets, they stopped. They watched. The stepmother found her voice eventually. How is this possible?" Amora looked at her. Not angry. Not crying. Just calm. The way children are calm when they have survived something adults cannot imagine. She said, "You sent me into the rain and hot sun to sell. I saved someone, billions, and he saved my mother. Such is life." He opened a small business for her mother. A food stall, the kind that becomes a restaurant if you love what you do. He came every weekend. Brought food. Sat and talked. Watched them thrive. The stepmother, who had beaten this child, who had taken her school fees and put a tray in her hands instead, watched a 9-year-old girl become the reason her family breathed again. She couldn't live with it. One morning, she packed her bags. Took a bus to Itaewon, to her mother's house. In silence. In shame. Nobody stopped her. Nobody called after her. Amora went back to school that September. In 3 languages, she could say, "I made it." Loneliness isn't always about being alone. Sometimes it's standing in the rain at 9 years old, selling rice cakes, because the people who were supposed to protect you, couldn't. Or wouldn't. But Amora knew something most adults forget: the thing you carry that nobody sees, might be the very thing that saves you.